It was time to get out of the classroom and into the real world. Welcome to Hickory, Pennsylvania, a beautiful small rural town with a lot of cows, a lot of horses, and a lot of drills, and fracking trucks. And like every great small town, there were great people in it. Meet Phi Theta Kappa alumni Elico Castro, who was offered to lease his land to drillers. Although his family declined, many of his neighbors signed leases. Eric shared with us the changes that he's seen.
Gas drilling pad, and every single night, it used to be, when I moved here, used to be quiet at night. Every now and then there's still a quiet night, but most of the time now you just hear this low rumbling sound going. Occasionally hear these sort of beep beep sounds, you know, from the trucks moving around. There's smells of natural gas that completely fill up every single place in Hickory, everywhere you go. Some nights, I don't even know what that's about. There's a pipeline coming through here, another gas line, actually two gas pipelines they just put through here recently. One of them is leaking. I got to call the gas station about that tonight, actually. You can actually walk along the pipeline and you can smell it.
Even matter, even different little neighborhoods of Pittsburgh, all of them have their own kind of feeling. Sometimes you get to know that feeling a little bit from just meeting the people or living there for a while, but Hickory has its own feeling. I know it from going on long walks and living here for many years, and it's that feeling that I get when I'm here that is probably what I cherish the most, and that's what I'm worried the most about losing, because that's the sort of vitality that I feel that could express itself through the community, that could express itself in a million different ways. And that's sort of what I'm worried about losing. That's what means the most to me. It's not able to be really put into words.
The Marcellus shale play is not only in Pennsylvania. It reaches through West Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, and New York. According to the Department of Environmental Protection, hydraulic fracturing drillers must shoot 1 to 5 million gallons of fresh water and chemicals to crack the shale and release the natural gas. Concerns are now being raised on where drillers will take the millions of gallons of fresh water from. In the next 2 weeks, less than 50% of the water and chemicals will come back out. This water is called produced water or brine water. Produced water cannot be filtered through local water management facilities. According to the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, produced water in Pennsylvania and West Virginia has shown signs of chemicals such as arsenic, alpha and beta radiation, 4-nitroquinoline-1 oxide, barium, benzene, cadmium, cyanide, lead, naphthalene, strontium, tetrachloroethylene, petroleum hydrocarbons, and radium, just to name a few. Whether chemicals found in the produced water are the result of hydraulic fracturing is not proven. However, in New York, drilling companies are required to submit material safety data sheets to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. In it, they list all of the possible chemicals that workers could be in contact with. According to Conrad Volz of the Center for Healthy Environments and Communities, 824,825 pounds of total dissolved solids are permitted to go into the Monongahela River per day. That includes 15,053 pounds of barium, 16,737 pounds of strontium, 486,812 pounds of chloride. All are permitted to go into the Monongahela River per day.
not good. Joey thinks that's not good. Not good. Not good.
Salts and metals, removing total dissolved solids, reverse osmosis and other sort of nanofiltration processes. Those are membrane processes that separate the salts from the water, and they can produce, these membrane processes, a water quality that is very high and approaching drinking water levels. But it's very expensive, especially at these very high total dissolved solids concentrations that come back with in the flow back. So you can do it, but it's very energy intensive, and because it's energy intensive, these membrane separations, they are expensive. There are technologies such as thermal crystallization processes, which are analogous to evaporation, kind of an accelerated evaporation. You are evaporating away the water and condensing the water and that water that is produced from that is very high in quality again. It's virtually drinking water quality, but these thermal crystallization processes are very expensive as well. It's energy intensive and expensive.
We couldn't believe that companies would handle wastewater so irresponsibly. However, our fears were strengthened by expert testimony.
Drillers that they're no longer taking it to sewage treatment plants for disposal. That may be for some companies, and I don't keep track of what any individual company does. But I will tell you quite frankly that I just got off the phone before I was here with one of my doctoral students, and there were 10 trucks lined up at the Monongahela sewage treatment plant, and they are unloading brine water into the Monongahela today. So you should all be very aware that although some companies may be taking this to Ohio, some companies may be doing this only at treatment facilities, many companies are still taking this to sewage treatment plants. That is something that needs to stop. This material includes heavy metals such as barium and strontium. It also includes organic compounds. It also includes high levels of chlorides and bromium. Bromium and water might be able to be transformed into bromo-organic compounds, which have been linked with stillbirth and other kinds of problems in major epidemiology studies around the world. This should be something that isn't allowed. This is a major impact right now to the state of Pennsylvania.
We're at Calvary Cemetery. At one of the meetings we had gone to, the one gentleman was speaking about Marcellus shell drilling here in cemeteries. I don't know if this cemetery is part of the lease agreements yet, or if it ever will be, but this is the one place I thought of as soon as, of course, he had said that, being that I do have a lot of family here in Calvary Cemetery. One of the things I had thought of were the houses that surround the cemetery, the people who come to visit, what effects if things do go bad, or if they ever would go bad. Some of the reports that we've heard about gas leaks, if we would ever be affected by this. Certainly the people here in the cemetery that are at rest now are not affected. During that process that we know of, but the people who still come to visit, would they ever be affected? Would I be affected if I come to visit my dad? Or my grandparents, or my mother, or anybody else that's here. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. So